Okay, I always approach from this angle, don't I? We got the wing on just to check how things line up with the wing. Wing. Oh dear, these couplets are driving me mad. Everything works. The wing lands exactly on these inner pieces, so I'm totally satisfied to go ahead and do the boot. I don't anticipate any problems at all. That just nips into there. Just got a quick couple of grips on it, but if you go underneath you can see how it starts to quickly take shape. Strong sunlight this morning, just slightly blinding the lens. The back inner valance, I've just got to finalise the exact position where that goes, but we don't need that yet. The main thing we're doing is satisfying ourselves that the boot does indeed sit on that lip where it is, and that it follows the chassis legs all right, and that the wing's not going to obstruct it, and that the wing's going to land on this important little end piece, which it does. Distance wise we're all correct, it's just a question, whoops, boom, damn, boom, boom, double, knocking things over. Just a question of little bits of jig to the left, a jig to the right, but nothing drastically out. It's all just within the working zone, which is what I was trying to establish. So a boot floor then beginning to take shape. We've got to do a lot of preparation on it. As you know, with a boot floor, they can't get the pressing deep enough, so they do that band. So we'll have to do the body skim of that band before that inner rear panel goes on, otherwise the body shop won't be able to get their hands behind the tub to skim it. I don't do a lot of body filling, as I've told you, but we'll have to do that bit. I hate doing it, but maybe I'll learn to like it, who knows. They'll have to go in, they'll have to be skimmed. So we'll be putting some easy fill on the back of that. That's about it, I think, really. For now with the wing, I'm happy the way things are there. This tab lines up with that tab. See, if I pull that back, see how that's just going to nicely bring it in. What I'm going to do now is fit this to roughly fit the back light cluster brackets, and just make sure that we're okay on the top piece. The inner valance lower, I'm not exactly sure the position, but I think that it spot welds through here excuse me, through the top. What I'm going to do is go and look at a cut off back end I've got, or my other cars, and just see where the spot welds land. If I recall, they're down this run here, which means the panel's just to come forward a little bit. So what we're doing in this little clip of the film is mocking up, just continuing to mock up and get an idea and a feel of how to assemble this so that it goes smoothly. Landing all right at the top there, just bring it in, that goes down, that goes up, and that's about it. Just got to just squeeze things down, pull things up, knock things about a little bit, and you're off, you're good to go. Okay, preparing to take the floor out and start actually getting it attached. But before we do, a little bit of street furniture for this. Your securing bracket for your wheel securing bolt, interestingly designed to go here on this tub. You can see these raised bits, but that's because the tub is taken from the pattern of a Mk3, I believe, and you would have that offset on a Mk3 because they changed the way you held the wheel down. You use a single lever type thing on one of the stud holes of the wheel. With the earlier system, you went through the middle of the wheel, through the centre cap of the wheel, and I had a nut and bolt and a butterfly catch, or on the early Rostyles you had a cup. So for the Rostyles, the cup went into the Rostyle and the bolt went through the middle. For the old sport wheels, you have a butterfly goes over the top. Indeed, that might apply to Mk4s. Then it got moved at some stage, I don't know when, then when the wheel goes in here, it actually lines up with one of your studs this time, and you turn a bar into it that way through the stud. It's probably due to customer feedback saying, you know, have to get a spanner and undo the middle. Anyway, we're going in the middle, so we come off the raised platform. We're actually down, which is a bit OCD-ly disappointing, but what can you do? More street furniture. Then we've got this wheel brace, Wheeljack securing bracket, which fits in there. And we've got the exact position of it marked there. Curiously, this is a Portuguese model, which is slightly different. We've got a choice of two. I'm going to probably go for the UK spec one. It's just that on the UK one, those tangs you see are actually part of the pressing, and they pulled out the actual metal, leaving a sort of oval shape. On the Portuguese, they've overcut, so they've over welded the little pieces. So even on your jack bracket, there's differences that you learn every day. There's another thing we didn't know. Different jack brackets available. Okay, so I'm happy with all the way that it fits together. That's why I'm now beginning the process of taking it all apart again and getting it ready and prepped. We'll flip it upside down and weld that bracket on. It's out of the way then and done. This is just something that we can do while we're at it. This inner valance, I've finalised the position of that. Tech screw holding on for now. Happy with those inner pieces, happy with the wing line up. Really not much to do. A little bit, send the chisel down between that gap there, because that edge can't quite feed itself in. It's such a tight gap, where the chassis leg's slightly flared a little bit, just stopping that from slotting in, or there might be one extra spot weld, I don't know. That's about it. Really, it's a question of pre-drilling the holes in that boot floor lip. It'd be interesting to see if we can get the spot welder along the chassis rail runs. It'd be really interesting to see if we can get the legs in. We probably can't, so we'll have to drill some positions for them to get some plugs in. We'll get some up this end, but I don't think we'll reach right the way inboard. We'll certainly get them for the inner valance. So a lot of this is accessible with the spot welder, so quite good. There won't be too many plugs on it. We know you like, we like the spot welder. All right. Right, let me pull this boot floor out. Step back again, give you a wider angle, so you're not up close to the project all the time. You can get a feel for it. There you go. Up there you go. How about that? Up into the roof you go, just to give you some variation. Up you go. All right, and slowly down with me. Okay, so let's get that out and get it prepped. There's paint to do on it, there's weld through to do on it, a couple of brackets to weld on it. Let's get busy, get real busy on this. Okay, the welder's on, so I speak up a little bit. The welding clamps again coming into their own for this repair at the end of the wheel tub. Wow, Jobby's grabbed the magnet again. Okay, here you have the butt clamps, BUTs, gripping this little piece of plate that we cut. All we did to get that shape, it was dead easy. You just cut it out with a grinder, lay it on the steel, draw around with a pen, cut on the inside of the line, and you're good to go. So we'll get the welds in there, and that's done. That means the boot floor can go in without obstructing this, so we'll be out of the way. Okay, so let's get some welds in on that and finish this little repair here. We'll still have to crock it back, of course. We need to crock down the plug welds as well here, because you won't be able to get to them either. So those chassis plug welds as well, welds well. Okay, we'll get them done too. So a little bit of prep work before we start laying the lay of the land. Some weld through primer to go on this landing strip there as well. Okay, plenty to do. We've welded in that bracket as well there. Well weld. See in a bit. We're keeping on moving, we're cracking up. Just the way we like it. Yeah. Okay, that repair piece is welded in. What I'd like to do with that, even though it's hidden, I'd feel better if we just put a bit of Dinitrol on it, the 60-30 Allia Soft, because it's non-porous and it's going to get splashes there. You don't want it like trying to push through there. Even though it's going to be well covered, I'd still like to get it fixed. So I mix myself a bit of the Dinitrol, Allia Soft. As I say, it's the 60-30 stuff. Coming to the end of its life in the tin, this now, it's the last bits in the tin, and then we kind of lose the thinning agent. It starts to get a bit more like putty. So I think this tin's probably the last mix we'll get out of this tin. Just a little bit of hardener in there. Make sure you get any excess off the spatula. Buy yourself some spatulas because they're only cheap. Right, we'll apply this on to that area there just to seal it in. Okay, locked on. Now I'm going to apply this and then sand it back. Okay, this is all painted, and these are the weld through areas, kept off, masked off. So we're particularly painting one side of it because it won't be accessible, this side, when the valance is on it. You won't be able to get to the back, so that's why we're doing that. Let me just turn the radio down, we'll talk you through it. Okay, so this is ready to go in really now. That's where your chassis legs fit. So we've just done a bit of painting like we did on the other box section chassis of the car, using the U-Pole primer and the Technigrip body coloured primer. Take all these off and get ready to offer it up. Boom. Okay. There we go. One for Gary, one for Jim. There we go. Again on the chassis legs here. Painted the inside of the legs. Take all this off. Right, I'll get all that off and spin this round. We'll offer it up because I think we're ready to do some action on this boot floor now. Okay, you're back. It ain't exactly the same place where we chopped it out and it all collapsed. It doesn't seem that long ago since we did that. Wow, and then Express come through with what I think is a cracking set of panels. And look at the quality of these. The beauty. I mean, it's just really, you know, it makes it doable. You know, it makes the project doable. Let's get this masking tape out of the way because otherwise we're going to be treading it around. It's going to stick to things and stuff like that. Did I mention? Yeah, I did mention there's two Portuguese brackets. Two Portuguese brackets. The wheel. Oh, I put that on. I think we mentioned that we put that on. Well, that type. There's nothing to stop the boot going on. One up there is a bit tight in this wheel arch here, where the wheel arch joins the chassis leg. It does open out because I just tried the little thin chisel and it does separate, so I'm hoping I can tap the floor and the edge of the floor is going to pop in and do it. I'm just making sure the camera is actually running, otherwise I'm talking to myself. We've skim filled this in where we're not going to be able to get to it here on this side, and this side wants a little bit more work, but I'll let the body shop boys work that magic there. So we've lost quite a lot of the banding effect on it. Gloves are on. There's nothing to stop this going in. Everything's prepared to receive what we're about to receive. So, hang on, I can see it now. So we start getting tech screws along that top edge. Okay, what do you reckon? That looks good already. You're in, like, as I said, you're in the same position that we chopped it out. It'd be nice to, if I put the camera in exactly the same place, to cut the film like that before and after. Looks the part. I'm quite happy with the way that it sits. Obviously you'll have to take the quarter off to get the rest of the panels on, but we're going to start by tech screwing it. We're going to get some welds in. I'll move you from up there now. We'll come and have a little closer look once I've just got them tech screws in. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, I'm happy with the way everything's lying. Our brackets for the bumper and everything is right how we want. So we can now get the spot welder, which we've got set up, and we can now run along the chassis leg, taking care to get them just in the right places. So it's boom time. Ooh. Oh yeah! Oh! Oh yeah! Woo! They're flying! They're flying! Wow, they're dead neat. Yes! You want to stay on for a bit more if you want. People want to stay on for a bit more. You hear like a ping, but nothing actually happens when you hear that ping. You don't actually get anything breaking. Might turn the timer up just another 2 seconds. Timer going up 2 seconds. Going up 2 seconds. Stay with us. We are spot welding the boot. Oh, what a game changer. Woo! Okay, a little inspection. We'll put you at a different angle. But wow, you can come in overhead and have a look. I'm all excited! Whoa! Right, we want to make sure they're really tough. So I'm going to just try and see if any want to go up, break. Hard to tell. We've got a blue bottle in here, driving me mad. I'm going to get a torch and then just check, see how these are taken. Might need more timer. Let's just see. Torch time inspection. As suspected, this is a triple area because it's got the reinforcer plate. So we'll have to just watch those 6. The rest will be alright, but them 6, the welder might not have the power to get through there. We may have to plug those up. So we'll keep our eye on that very closely. The rest should go fine. I can't get this one broke at the back here, so at the front I mean. But one of them hasn't taken on that bracket, and that's what that ping was. I thought something was going on. That's because the spot welder's trying to get through 3 layers there. Oh, I'll keep our eyes out on that one. Okay. We're okay. We just increased the power on those, and we're through. Through on that one. Might just be able to get it. Like my spot welder face. They're good. They are good. It's so great. It's so great that you can actually get the arms in there, because it's a nice feature in the boot, and they're making good impressions, good little round dimples. Okay, 20 spots in and all good. Watch this. You'll be bending the pan before they break. And look, they're really nice dimples too. Aren't they? Aren't they? Aren't they, honey? Aren't they, honey? Tell us about the honey, mummy. Okay. Why not do this side? Exactly the same. Quarter will have to come off, of course, but it's got to come off anyway because we're going to get the side panels on. So, let's motive 8 with that. Let's get the spot weld down this side. We've got some street furniture to go in. We've got the jack bracket and the funnel bracket. In fact, I'll tell you what we better do. Here, we better get the funnel. We better get the funnel marked in its position, because it can go the wrong position. We need to mock up our funnel area. Hold on, where's our, here we are. We need this. And we need the rubber donut that fits on it, and we need the funnel itself. We've got to place that onto there, put the donut on, position it before we spot weld that funnel. Let's go and get that sorted out now. That's an important one. Okay, here's our street furniture, our fuel furniture. One cowling fits in there. That is glued on. We don't weld that, we glue that. We're going to be using our panel adhesive on that. And then this just needs to line up. And this is where you need to get it right. So I suppose we don't need the rubber grommet for it, not the rubber, the sleeve that fits there. So we've got to make sure we get that in exactly the right place to fit. Then we can mark on here where it's going to go, because a spot welder should reach into most of the welds. It might just about get it in. It's close to the chassis rail. It'd be nice. I mean, we could also bond that down, but I think I'd like to spot weld that one. We could fit this on now and offer it up as one whole section. I'll try that. I'll get the marking on the boot floor. Then we need to get that prepped. It's nicely blasted back. This one can wait. And then obviously this jack mount point in, that goes. I've already measured that up. That'll definitely spot weld on. Weld through on that. Get that ready. So a little bit of street furniture. Okay, bracket tested and measured for the exact position, and then mocked up just with the jack, with both types of jack. Works for both. So we put that in. That's your jack there. In it goes. Okay. So now we can weld it in with the wing off. But it trips the power. Hold on, I need power. I don't know why that happened. Clean underneath the other side of the metal, so it shouldn't have tripped. In we go. No idea why. 4. Jack bracket. Woo! Jack bracket. And I think you'll find that it's fused good and proper. Looks good from that side for jack bracket. I think there was just 3 in a row there. I don't think it had any. This might be prudent to put 2 more on. Without being posh, it might be a good idea to put 1 in each corner there just to get it, stop it rocking. Oh! I think that's a good idea. makes it uber solid. Oh yeah, that's better. It was able to rock. Okay, the jack that rocked is in. It's now filler cap time. I should really have the welding gloves on for this spot welder, so we better add. We'll put the gloves on. We're about to do the hang on, we'll put the welding gloves on. Join us. We are doing the other side of the chassis leg now, so just in case I accidentally grab the prongs, and sometimes you've got to position them underneath there. So hot, touch up, let's go, spot till you drop. Woohoo! Now these are the brackets by the bumper iron now, so we're going to approach with caution. Double for that one. Double for this one. Well, we're missing something. Try again. I think that's got it. Yeah, that's got it. Okay, stay with me. It's welder time. Right, this is where the gloves come in. I can just check I'm all alright. Oh, these welds look so good. Where are we? That's it there. I made an error because that bracket's going to get in the way now. It might get in the way of these. I might just about get away with that. Certainly the filler cap might have got in the way. I just realised halfway through the job, I thought that filler cap's going to block, so it's luckily just in time. Matching the corners. Just checking them now. Yep, they're nice. Yeah, good. Let's keep moving. Slightly go up another second. Take it in the way, but don't need it now. Hey, hey, hey. Yep, all good so far. Hope you caught that on camera. That was a nice one. Really went with a pop. Have I boo-booed and boo-booed you rude? Will I be able to dodge? I think might be able to, hey, between the bracket we go. That was a bit of now you're going to get my back, you don't want that. Some of these start making it, we have to clean the nose. Inner panel face painted because once it's on you won't be able to get behind it because the wheel tub's in the way. And then final bit of spot welding down this side, clamped up and ready to go, spot welder ready, so I'll take you on board unless you are on board with the spot welder. Details, don't bore me with the details, just get the job done. Who said that, Sam? Details. Don't bore me with the details, just get the job done. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Spray liberally. Weld liberally. Okay, we have been back to Express and they've kindly supplied us with a new back panel. It's a 60-day waiting time to get your back panels made, but they had a surplus of Ford ones which they were clearing out, so I said I'll take the Ford one, nothing wrong with theirs, but wow, how kind of them was that. A surplus panel that they had genuine Ford one, but their back valance is exactly the same as the Ford one. In fact, I think the gauge of the metal is probably slightly thicker, but I'm happy with this one. And the rest of the Express panels, I'm going to give them, well, I'm going to say, you might think I'm biased, but I promise you I am not biased into saying that the quality of the panels, it's got to be a 9 out of 10, because you'd not get this to fit together this good if their panels were waving all over the place. I mean, look the way this back valance, granted it's not their one, but I'm talking about everything that's resting on it, because it's resting on one of their inner panels, but that's landing on that swage line, and this fits to the boot at the bottom of the wing. What I'm trying to say, inside here their panels go on the inner panel. I'll get the torch and I'll show you. There's a little bit of tweaking, but that's why it's not 10 out of 10. But on the whole, where's my torch? Here, it's coming up, getting torch now. It's a beautiful rear inner panel. Okay, and it's a really nice tub. I know it's a banded tub, but I can see why, you know, the press wouldn't do it. But that inner panel there, so you've just got two tabs to squeeze together, but you know, they look the part. So I'm more than happy. I couldn't be happier with the way this back end has gone together today. Everything's just landing as it should. The wing lands and clips into here as it should. There. we've got these sitting on top of there. We've got the boot nice and square and straight. We've got these lined up. Petrol cap filler. Perfectly straight now. Everything concentric. The fit on the wing's good. I'm happy around here. I'm really happy down by the sill. That could have really gone wrong. Okay, I'm happy up here. I'm happy that this lands nice and tight up against these plug welds here. And get them in. There we go. See that plug weld? Nice and tight there. Really, I can now begin to finally weld this all up together. We need the quarter for this side, and if this side goes as well, I'll be very happy. That side certainly is more than acceptable. Beautiful, really, when it comes to it. Think what we've been through. I think it'd be a good idea to get the wing and just see how it's going to land. It'd be quite an interesting experiment to see how it's going to land, but it needs some prep work, the wing, before we can do that. Now obviously we need to rebuild this mess. This is the last of the rust. I wanted to save that for a special occasion. That's all you're going to see rust wise on this car. That's all that's left. So we need to do that repair. Whoops, need to do that repair on it before anything else. But I'm going to get the boot floor welded in now along that edge. See that edge there? With plug weld and seam seal that up so that it's sealed in and ready to go. Around this area here is still loose because it's not connected to the wing yet, but we can do that. All in all, everything's within spec. We're 1 mil out on some of the tolerances, in other words 3 mil instead of 2, and we're close up 1 mil on quite a lot of the measurements. We've really done well here. We've got these to salvage off and get taken off the old metal, and they need to be fitted to these finishing quarter pieces. So that's a job to do, but all nice, clean, fresh living jobs you don't mind doing, and this floor's going to manage to stay clean now for quite a while, because the only grinding we're going to be doing really is going to be up in this corner, and when the shell's flipped, we'll flip the shell, and then there's a lot of grinding to do underneath, but a couple of days worth of cleaning up underneath the shell to make it as nice underneath as it is here. And of course we went through the floor pan job. Interesting that those triangles aren't used there for when you've got a 4-door car, because a 2-door seat is square, 4-door seat has a little curved bit for when you open the door so it's not in the way. Consequently they put those floor support triangles in to finish the carpet and the edge of the seat. I never knew that. All cars are made to have them slotted in, but they don't all use them. In other words, 2 doors don't use them. Gonna get on and get some welds in now. I'm rambling. Okay, I've got these brackets in some Technic grip, and I'm just preparing some of the little fitments for the boot, but we've got to get this fixed here too. This is the last of the rot, so this is it really. We need to cut this out. We've got a nice donor piece just down here to donate the corner to, and it's on the hole, not many holes, just that there. So extract that out, very similar to how we did on this side. So a cut will be made just slightly backwards of the rust, down, take the top piece out. Looks like the bottom part survived, just here where my finger is now, that base is in 2 pieces, so I'll cut it and then I'll just crocky it out rather than drill them welds. Remove this piece, and then this bottom part of the drain channel needs a section in it as well, so we need to dissect that a little bit and get this piece in round the end, get this piece stripped back. I think the first thing to do, get the remains of the wing off this so that we're starting to expose the donor piece. Okay, the top half might only be needed because that back section of it looks to me to be intact. So sort of another stagger joint for it. It's mainly this top piece. I think the first thing to do probably is cut that out, put the 1mm slitting disc down there, grind a little bit with a crocky, take this off, lift it and have a look what we've got. Okay, so a bit of stripping down. We'll cut to you a few minutes down the line, half an hour down the line. We'll see where I've got up to. Okay, here we go. So it is for this side gutter repair, coming to the end of the last rust repairs on the car, so we can have an end of rust party, I reckon. What do you say? Let's get to work. Okay, I've extracted the panel. Took quite a little bit of fiddling to do it. I'll show you what we've done. Cleaned up that, chopped it off the end of there. That's the donor piece off the car. It's quite intricate how it's all assembled, this area. You've got sort of 4 or 5 panels intersecting. Look, there's a gutter run panel, and there's the actual over panel of it, which creates the air intake for the airflow. You've got a lower panel there that sits on the parcel shelf. Got a bit of the wing which you had to extract out, because that was well and truly fixed in. Looks like they put the wings on the car first and then they put these panels on later on. So that took some jiggery pokery to get it out, so that's actually scrapped now. Then there's this section here which is the remains of the section of the parcel shelf and a section of the inner wing as well, upper inner wing. So we've got those items. So if we take this up, coming to the end of the Resto, that's got to sit into there. So what I've done is 3 layers on it, 3 layers of it. That bracket there, you can see that right angle, that's layer 1. Layer 2 is the top part, and layer 3 is the actual gutter itself. So I've cut them at varying angles so that you can get the welder in. Then we've got to cut the inverse of those again and get it to land in just the right place. So we need to extract all this out. The biggest overcut, sorry, the smallest overcut, being careful not to cut too much metal away, so that when I land that, I'm going to slot it in and it's going to land in the right place. A little bit of repair to do on the inner wing. Look, there's the outer quarter. If I bend that up, you can see this just needs a little piece putting in, but we've got that piece just down here, so we can pinch that off that one. So best thing to do is to get this out of the way now and mark as well where it's going to be. So we're looking for this little corner. If I get a straight line and run it down the car like this, I can see that it lands within the line of this. So we want to make sure when this goes in that it's hitting that point and that we get a proper intersection there, because we don't want the screen to be tricky to fit. We don't want the wing to be tricky to fit. So as long as we know that that run goes straight down, time to get this out. So it's angle grinder in, bit of crockying in to get that and cut. So the staggers are the opposite staggers to this side, and then hopefully I can get the welder in most of it. I think it's going to be pretty tight. That side I only did 2 layers. This side needs 3 layers. A little bit harder because this side's damaged. This piece, the other side, that piece was intact and only this piece came out. So we were able to attack that from the top. It's different this way. And this side's a bit more rotted. This is a good piece at least to put in. Piece. Okay, I'm going to get cutting into this now. You'll jump cut to that all gone. Here we go. Last repair. Last hard repair anyway. Project Bramble. Okay, slowly breaking away at this now. Going alright. Got to take out another piece. We've got a 3-section piece to take out, because what we've got to do, I've got to break that, lift that piece off so that I can get this. Oh, hold on. So I can get that under channel piece into here. By taking that out, we'll be able to weld the under channel piece. Then we'll be able to get that bracket onto there, and then we drop this back in and it'll land flush with this piece. So in order to get to it, we've got to take it off. We've got to actually take another piece off. We can't actually slot that underneath because I won't be able to weld the inside bit of here. I didn't realise that. So reasonably tricky, but it's just a little mini jigsaw. As long as you've got the bits, you're alright. While waiting for the drill to charge, it's just, the battery's just gone on that spot. I'm going to repair this piece here. Now, we should have it down here somewhere there. I'm hoping. Let's have a look. I've not actually checked yet. Just about got it with that, look. Whew. Wow. Right, we can graft that in just to there. So we've got that. We've got a repair piece. Great, I'll clean that up and we'll get that welded in now. It's out of the way then. Brill. Bit tricky, as I said, but we're so close and we've got so much inspiration driving us. When we look at how neat this looks, it just gives us tons of enthusiasm. Alright, let's go. Okay, I've welded, sanded that back, put a little strengthener piece or a new piece of metal in that run because that was a bit weak. So we'll just do a little bit of grinding to just do there, just bring these out. But other than that, that's gone in quite well. So that little corner's repaired. And now we can carry on because we've got some battery charged. We can get this little piece out and now start putting that final piece in. I might give that a little bit of metallized filler, just because it won't take long, and then when that panel's painted it's going to look tidy. It's not seen, but at least it'll be a nice neat finish. It's only going to take another 10 minutes just to put a little bit of the Alliasoft in there, flat that out. At least that panel, then there's one little repair to do there. I think I can get the MIG in on that one, and on here a little plate needed. So two little areas of rust, a little bit of a tidy up here, just a little corner needs to be made, so that's a round shape. So 1, 2, 3, looks like 3, maybe 4 pieces of rust areas left on the entire car. So we're counting down, so let's go 4, 3, 2, hang on, how can I do that? 4, 3, 2, 1. That's how we're going to do it. Not like that. I could never. Could you do that? Oh, I couldn't do it. Ask Ted. I couldn't do it. Those of you my age will get that joke. TV programme. Okay. Rather dusty in here as well. Better get vacuum and put everything in the bin. Right. Time. Oh no! You see, that's what happens when you leave stuff lying around. Stop doing that. What was I going to do? The Alliasoft and also the piece of donor metal. Okay, leave it to me. The fumes. Not quite ready yet. This drill bit I've swapped across to a actually just snapped one of my bits. Doesn't happen often, but the actual shaft threaded insert snapped, so this should be dead easy, this. It's only because the depth on that one's not the best. Will go. There we go. It's off its way now. It's just because that's starting to wear out. I've got a really good one and it's just snapped on me. It's the first time one snapped. The little threaded bar on it stripped the threads. Not to worry. Right, so we've got that out. We need this piece. We mustn't lose it. It's very important. We need that for later. Now we need our insert. And you can see how we're going to get this. By cutting this now, we can actually access it. Oh, the job, he's caught the metal. Again, done it again. And then, you see it goes further up. The piece I've just cut out then goes in, back in there, and that's how you do it. So we're around that point where we fit. Okay, so I'll start doing all the exact measurements to get this piece in. A little tricky, as I said, but worth it in the end when we get a neat job. Let's carry on. Okay, here's where the magic happens. Have a little look at this. Piece out, we're going in, alright. Slot into there, down at the front, and you can see where I've marked this little piece of metal that goes up on a rise. This needs to join it. So across it goes, and then that goes down to join that. That sits on there, you just heard it click, so that's clicked in. This is where it should be there, and then so we can now weld that inner piece, we can weld that piece, we can weld that piece, and then all you've got to do is pop that on. And that's all done and integrated as it should be, properly, with overlaps and joins. That's the best you're going to get it. This one here will be a butt join, but we'll do it nicely because we can get to it properly, see? So that was the puzzle I was trying to solve. It took me, I stare at it for about an hour, no, maybe half an hour, when I was looking and thinking, how can I do this? I mean, there's so many intersections of pieces, like that piece, all over the place, little pieces everywhere that were joining up. So how many panels actually intersect? 1, 2, 3, that base plate 4, the end of this corner 5. I mean, there's 6, potentially 6 pieces that are all working together there. You can see what I mean. You can see why I left this to last. It was one of them jobs I was thinking, I'll have to do that, I'm not looking forward to it. But actually when you get into it, you end up enjoying it. So it's not so bad. What would be a good idea to do now before we secure this would be to put the wing on, so that you can just exactly move this where it wants. And that might be an idea before we actually begin to actually set that in stone, you know. Could be a good idea. To put the wing on, we need to take off a few more pieces of metal, but the wing needs to go on anyway, so I think it's the time now to take this off, and the rest of the metal and the rest of the remains of the wing, the quarter wing, and actually start offering it up. Now the one I've got coming in is a bit beaten and battered, but it's all I can get. It's not rotten, it's just come off the Portuguese shell, and that's going to need its own cleaning up, so we're looking at a day to get the wings sorted out. So we need to get on with that soon, now really. So I think we'll do a tidy up, all tools back, and we'll start afresh. Here we go. Just get a little edge corner piece here. We're going to shape that nicely as it should be. The end of this under panel was missing, so we're nearly ready. Just marking out, cutting, getting exact, so when that piece drops in, everything's ready to go. Okay, a big jump for you, about an hour ahead, maybe 2 hours ahead. We're getting the exact position of this repair piece, and that's the gap we need, but that's not a problem because we just build our plate, a backing plate for it, and it goes behind there. And because we oversized, we've got plenty of metal to fit in, not that piece, there's a piece somewhere that goes, here it is, we left it oversized, remember, so just allow for any movement, and we can fit and cut that to suit. And then another infill there, that's the copper bar behind that, and we fill it with weld, copper bar behind there. So that we had to open it up that much to get 128 between the tips of the wings, assuming this side's correct, but what we do is we divide the distance between the centre line of the car so that any errors are evenly split. So we average it between the two. We'll just try and get a few more reference points, but it guided itself. This is the wing, this is the Portuguese wing, which we salvaged and it's been acid dipped and stripped back. It's bashed, beaten and smashed around, but it's salvageable. The coach lines are okay. Around that area is all fine. All around there, it's just that as you go lower down, it's got a dent here, a bit of a dent there, that's all crushed in, and then there's some rot at the bottom of it, but that's plateable. Considering the cost of these wings and the availability of them, we've got to go with this. All right down here, so we're okay there. A little bit bashed around at the back where it's been pulled off, a dent here, but this, we can pop these out and get it off, and we can panel beat this. I'm not going to do it, I'm going to get someone in to help me with that. I'm not confident. And also, you can see the dent there. It needs an expert eye on it, someone who does this for a living, who can just see lines and stuff like that. But on the whole, the wing's good. It's not a rotten wing. It's a new wing that was fitted on the car, and it's rotted in the time that it's been fitted on the crash damage Portuguese body shell. So considering that you can't get them, and if you can, they're like £800. We don't want to be spending anything like that money on this unless we really had to. We'd have to, you know, really save and get that out there. We could do it. We've got Patreon funding us, some YouTube money coming in. We could do it, I guess. But this wing is more than salvageable. I think you'll agree that that's just worth a little bit of cleaning up and bashing about. It's got loads of braze on it. I had to burn the braze and grind the braze back where it was all brazed onto the remains of where I've cut it off. A little bit to shape in around here, so we've got to bash it in there to get it straight into this, like this one. This one just falls into place. This side a little bit more is going to be needed, but it's cleanish work. What we really wanted to do was make sure that this sat on that line there. Can you see the line? I'll highlight it out. That line there needed to follow into that line there. That was the object of the exercise of fitting the wing. So once it's clamped in there and flush on that surround, which it is, and that this sits nicely recessed in so that you can overfill it, then you know you've got it right. Okay? And that means that this gap here is now the set gap point. So we now weld that piece in, and that's that job completed. So we weren't far out. In fact, on the inside of here, the original cut is enough for just a small line of weld in there. So that's that repair piece, and as I say, that goes over and fits it, and that completes that repair. We can take the wing off and carry on with other jobs and get that wing sorted out and straightened out. But for an initial fit, for the first time, when I've just placed it on, it's guiding itself, it's going on. I mean, it's gone round the wheel arch all right, which is the hard bit. Round here, gripping it now for you. Round there, follows all the way round. At the bottom there, it fits into the sill area, which we were worried about. Just about. It's a bit tighter than the other side. Here, I'll just show you what I mean. So we're okay round there. We go in, and then it's just that little bit. I've just got to tension it to get it in. Look, watch. It has got blobs of weld on the bottom of this. There, it's gone. There. Now I think personally that's a little bit tight, but it does seem to tension the wing up nicely when you do that. And it could be that because this is dented, that it's kicked that out at the bottom. If I find that it's under too much tension, you could always slit that. You're talking about a mil, so there could be an error, and that could be on my sill. It could be anywhere that's come in. That indeed, if it has, it could be that the fact that it's dented has kicked the bottom of the wing out. Without putting a genuine forward one on undamaged, you're never really going to know if that was the case. The worst case scenario is you could slit the bottom of the wing and take just 1 mil out. I mean, you're talking about 1 mil, because the way it fits to the sill, there's no room for error. And I knew that when I was putting the car together. I knew that the way that sill come in at the back, I didn't have the wing for reference point. If you look back on the videos, you'll see me saying that's going to come back and get us one day, and indeed it may have done by 1 mil, but a cutting disc and a bit of grinding and a bit of welding can easily fix that, and it won't affect the coach lines, it won't affect the look of the car. You'd actually never know about it. If indeed I have to do it, we could find that when we bash the wing out, in fact I can see it concaved in here, that it actually has the effect of kicking it in, because you're going to bring out more, it's going to shorten the height. That's possible. Either way, whatever turns out with that, I've got it covered. The main thing was to just get the fact that that's good to go there. If I'd have placed that metal to metal edge, this wouldn't have worked. So that's what that was all about. We've done that, it took all day. So I'm going to call it a day for Saturday night. Car shows in the morning, and then the weekends not for the car. We've got social and domestic pleasures to do. But looking good. See you on Tuesday, it's Bank Holiday Monday, more car shows. We might see you at Capes Fawn Hall. Over and out for this part of the video.